You may not harass women. You may know how to take rejection. The majority of men that most women deal with do not.
Yeah.
And you are accountable for that as well. Because I don't got time to figure out which white people are nice, which white people aren't racist, or da-da-da-da-da. I have to go on the actions of the group.
Right.
The group as a whole and the history of that group as a whole tells me that they are a danger to me and they are not to be trusted.
Right.
And if you can understand that as a black man and your stance towards white people, then you should absolutely be able to understand women's stance towards you. It's not a war on you waged by women. Actually, the war get a little thicker when we start talking about it from the perspective of a woman and the greater society of racism and white supremacy being waged against black people, and then the patriarchal society being waged against women. So they have to deal with two elements. One of those elements we don't have to think about, and honestly, we're perpetuated. And it's perpetuated against us young to look at women as objects,
Right.
you know, to look at women only through the lens of a sexual desire and not as the human being that they are. And when you understand how to deal with women on a human level, you understand how much women will enrich your life.
Amen. Amen.
You want to turn it up a notch?
Yeah.
Get you a good woman get you a good black woman in your corner.
Amen.
Hey man, you want to see your life turn up?
Hey.
And see, this is the thing though. It's a privilege, bro. It's a privilege. You know what I'm saying? We often disregard the power of our black women. The spiritual essence that they're gonna bring to things. The knowing, the seeing, you know what I'm saying? Also too, imagine it. They have to be hyper vigilant because they have to be constantly scanning the room, making sure that they're in a safe situation.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? When we think about these kids who were clearly in Louisiana having the time of their fucking life because they graduated, and we think about white people's reaction to Black Joy.
Oh yeah, that's
it's not about civility. It's not about decorum. They don't like to see us happy.
That's what it is.
Now, how often are women just having a good time, and here come a nigga trying to ruin their fun?
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. You can call it pandering, but if I was up here caping for white women, you wouldn't even mention that word. If I was up here caping for Hispanic women, you wouldn't even call it pandering. Only when we take pride and show love to black women do you call it pandering. Get your motherfucking mind right. Use your cabeza.
Hey, where the bitches at? It's supposed to be titties. Where the fucking titties and the bitches?
Hey, I'm not even gonna beat around the bush or whatnot. I wish you gay men would mind your own business. Why don't you talk about issues in your gay community, okay? Right, you hear that? You hear what I fucking said? I want to start this commentary off by saying that. I wish a lot of you inflammatory gay men and shit that's in our community would just deal with your own gay issues or whatnot. Leave us alone. Leave straight people alone and shit. You don't have no business talking about our issues and whatnot because you're biased and whatnot. You don't even hold the same women accountable when they use your orientation as a slur against us and whatnot. Okay? I don't appreciate it. Whatnot. I'm tired of it, and I'm tired of your incessant need to, indoctrinate everything in sight and shit. Okay, for lack of a better term and shit. Okay, what you think is not reality. All right, what you think is not reality and shit. I'm just tired of it and shit. Somebody need to tell you that and shit. Okay, I'm a elder statesman of this motherfucking community, and my credentials match yours and shit. I looked you up. You don't have no motherfucking credentials other than what you wrote on your own fucking website and your platforms and shit. Now I'm supposed to read that bio you wrote and believe what you said about yourself and shit. Then you can believe what I said about myself. When I'm an elder statesman, I'm old enough to be your father, maybe your fucking grandfather and shit. And I'm telling you, you need to mind your own motherfucking business if you believe a fraction of anything you said and shit. Okay, we really don't need any more ops in our community and shit. The community is fractured enough as it is and shit. I'm tired of your incessant badgering of straight black people and shit. You know, men in particular and shit. Okay? I want to be crass and shit, okay? I want to say that, deep down you just want to, you want somebody to pick you and shit. You're a fucking pick me and shit, okay? That's what you are, okay? Now, I know you're over there in Atlanta and shit. I don't want to stereotype nobody, but goddamn it, wish you guys, or you females, whatever, how the fuck you self-identify in this weird Orwellian society, would get a grip and shit, and get a hold of yourself. You don't even put a fucking disclaimer and shit on this thing, Luckily for you, our community is so fractured that we can't hold you accountable for the inflammatory blanket statements that you make about your own fucking people and shit, okay? All right? I don't give a shit. I'm tired of it, okay? I'm straight, okay? I'm not bothered by gay people. I'm not bothered by anyone on the flag. The only thing on that weird gay flag that you guys worship that I'm bothered about is that MAP shit, that minor attracted people shit, right? And you guys need to work on that. That's maybe an issue you could talk about in your gay community and shit. How to get that shit excised from the rainbow flag and shit, so that you guys won't be lumped in and shit as pedos and all that crap and shit. Why don't you deal with that shit instead of fucking with us? Are you over here false flagging in our community and shit? You don't know anything about a straight relationship. You don't ever been in one and shit. All you want to do is come over here and try to play the background and shit, and creep up on somebody and go in their back door. Okay? Why don't you mind your own fucking business, okay, and stay out of our goddamn business and shit, okay? All right, my nigga? All right? I'm 56 years old and shit. I'm old enough to be your pappy and shit. And if you was my son, I would tell you to come over and give you the whooping you deserve and shit for making that statement and shit, okay? Our denigration has been going on for over 100 motherfucking years and shit. Do the math, do your due diligence and shit, and look at a movie called Birth of a Nation, not the Nate Parker one and shit, the original one, where they presented black men as craven sexual beasts and, knuckle draggers who attacked everything in sight and shit, and a heroic element in the film with the Ku Klux Klan and shit. How is anything you're doing any fucking different and shit? I'm tired, okay, gay man? Gay ass, weird sounding motherfucking man. Why do you guys all sound like you have the same fucking mannerisms if you don't want to be with a woman and shit? Why do you imitate their mannerisms and shit? And it's in our community and shit. Why you gotta be a fucking dissident? Why you gotta be a wet food stamp or a tampon and shit? In our community, we go through so much and shit. We don't need you to add on and shit. You ain't piling on nothing, okay? You ain't piling on nothing. That he who without sin cast the first stone and shit, okay? Right? You need to make some podcasts since you want to be intrusive and shit in straight people's business. Why don't you make some podcasts talking to these women about their fucked up behavior and shit and how to manage their wounds, okay? They're the ones populating the community with these dissidents that you're talking about right now and shit, lumping all us in together and shit. I really don't appreciate it. And if you're going to talk about this kind of shit, you should put a disclaimer at the bottom of your commentary or present your credentials as something that would, legitimize your fucked up views and shit, okay? Now, I've looked in your comment section. I see nothing but the usual female mouth breathers co-signing your bullshit and indicting their own ignorance and shit. And the end of our society, African society, as we know it and shit in 2025 and shit. Okay? Shut up, man. I hate your whiny fucking voice and shit. And I would tell you this to your face. Okay? Tell you this to your face, even though you might try to kiss me. Okay? I'm sorry, gay man. Stay out of straight people business. You hear me? I'm saying that shit again. Okay? That's how much I care about being canceled and shit. But I got a ton of gay friends, that don't act like your fucking ass and shit. Even the most flamboyant gay motherfucker I know don't act like your ass and shit, okay? But it's you dissidents, you mouth breathers over here, you gay boards, okay? That's a science fiction term and shit, okay? I think you motherfuckers want to assimilate everything. Okay, resistance is futile, right? And shit, you will give up your pussy, right? They want to fuck all the straight black men and shit, make them like you and shit. You're telling us to bend the knee to one half of the society as if it's, beyond reproach. Everything they've done has been flawless up until this now. Why are we in a shithole as a people? Right? When you can answer these questions, then you can come on here and your whiny little voice and with your pussy tied with the butt plug back there and make these inflammatory comments and shit. Okay, we tired of hearing it. A straight black man, an elder statesman of your supposed ethnic community and shit, tell you shut the fuck up and shit. You have no authority to speak. Okay, this you should be responsible, a responsible podcaster, and put a disclaimer on your works of fiction, your verbal works of verbal fiction and shit. And you know, that's about it. That's all I really have to say. I want to use an extreme to expletives and go overboard, but you know how it is. You people, you know, I'm black too, bro. Straight black, so I have no fucking rights because I'm straight black and I have a penis and shit, you know? Alright? I'm very open minded and shit. I'm not particularly liberal, I guess, by your definition anyway, because I don't want to, you know, suck on an eggplant or drink a, you know, a mayonnaise milkshake, you know. But I'm telling you, like, you cannot live and let live. When you have an inability to do that, can you explain that to us? Can you make a podcast about why you have to be up in our fucking business and our straight people's business? What straight black men do you see talking about relationships between gay men or the staggering amount of domestic abuse between lesbian black women and shit? And sexual abuse as well, right? Do you see us making videos about that except as an aside or when prompted to by, you know, as a reactionary measure? No, you do not. Yet here we are. We have to listen to your bullshit another day, okay? God damn it. I just want Herschel Walker's Princess son to make a video instead of listening to this bullshit. Okay, just shut the fuck up. Okay, you surround yourself with mouth breathers that ape your retarded fucking views, and then you want us to accept it as fact and shit. Okay, now I'm done here. Okay, this has been your clapback and shit. Okay, if I could be in person, I would have a frat paddle and shit with all this shit written on it, smack you on your fat ass and shit, and you would enjoy it and shit. Okay, fuck you, man. Okay, fuck you. Go get yourself an education, your son.
Fuck you. Oh, fuck you, fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you. Fuck, 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 fuck.